Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cup of Tech. Last week was feeling pretty under the weather. Right now, bouncing back really good. Let's get on with the show. Last week we spoke about Google Maps and Street View and now going into buildings so you can actually see restaurants and different places including NASA's space station and things like that, which is really cool. This week they've showed us how we can now go underwater. Now when I first heard about this I started thinking about The Little Mermaid. Remember the song Under the Sea?
Life under the sea is better than anything they got up there.
So now you can actually go underwater into places like the Great Barrier Reef, and they've done this with the help of another company to do scuba diving and take the cameras in and things like that. So you can literally take Street View from the street to the sand and into the water. And if you're never going to scuba dive, or you're afraid of water or something like that, no point you missing out. You can actually see it on screen. It's absolutely incredible. If you haven't done it, you must do it. Check it out. It is just impressive. It's so cool. Apple Maps is still trying to figure out where the roads are and where the locations are. Google's now taking maps under the water, and that's really cool, and I love it. One of my previous favorite companies for phones was BlackBerry, and I was a huge BlackBerry fan, always loved them. They then released this Wake Up campaign, which I thought was ridiculous, and I made a video on just how ridiculous that was. But now they've come out with a new video, as they seem to be doing lately, but aimed at developers. And they've taken a love song, which is personally one of my favorite love songs of the past, and they've ruined it. And they've made it about developers and how much they love the developers. And it's a bit of a, we love you guys, we're here for you, and things like that, which is great. If you're a developer out there who's stuck by BlackBerry, it's a really nice gesture of what they did. But at the same time, I was watching it, and I think a lot of people watch, about 200,000 views on YouTube, and my question was, what about the consumer? What about me? Started to come to mind, and where is their focus? I posted this on Facebook and I put the question out there, should a phone maker's focus be on developers, or should it be on the consumer and what the consumer wants? Because I think that if you build the right platform based on what consumers want, then you start to bring in an audience of consumers like us, and as a result, when you've got power in numbers, developers have almost no choice but to develop applications for you, because they want to make money and they want their apps to be downloaded. And if there's no one there to download them, then why would they bother developing for them at the same time? So I think that's why so many people develop for Android and iOS, because that's where the eyeballs are. That's where people are looking. Why would you want to target developers first? What is there to excite them if people aren't using the actual platform in the first place? So I don't know. I've seen BB10, or I've seen the beta version or the alpha version even. And it is going to be impressive. I'm excited for it still. I don't know if I would leave Android and go back there, but when I watched this video I thought, why is it aimed at developers? Why isn't it aimed at consumers and trying to sing to people like myself who left them in the past and bring them back? I don't know, let me know what you think. We had some differing opinions on Facebook, and you'll have to come back at me and tell me what you think. A few episodes ago I spoke about the Google car. God, it's 2 pieces of Google news in 1 week. And I spoke about driverless cars, and this car which you can literally get into, type in your destination, and using Google Maps it will take you to where you need to go. So you'd go in there and you say, take me to McDonald's, and it's going to drive you through the drive-thru of McDonald's or wherever you choose to go in there. Really cool, with no hands, no nothing. And it senses the cars around you and does everything else, uses Google Maps for navigation. Thank God it doesn't use Apple Maps for navigation, because you wouldn't get there, you'd get to Guatemala or something. But it's now become legal in California, I think it's California, to have a driverless car. So this ambition, this dream that Google has had could become a reality very soon. If it's now legal, you'll probably see people not driving, but sitting in their cars while it drives them somewhere. And that scares me and excites me at the same time. I would love to go to the airport in California, fly into LA, and not wait for a taxi line, just walk to the Google rent-a-car place, jump in the car, type in my hotel, and it's just going to take me to my hotel. No more taxi queues, no more looking up where am I going. You just jump in the car, say, I'm staying at the Hilton in California, and it just takes me there. How cool. I'm excited by that. I've also seen this week news from Japan. Had to use Google Translate again. Oh, another Google news. Had to use Google Translate to actually read this press release. Sharp, who, we don't really hear a lot about Sharp, but Sharp have come out with solar panels which are transparent. Now, usually people just put solar panels on the roof of their building, and that's how they, get some green energy and things like that, which is really, really good, and it's good to see people doing that. But not everyone has a roof to put solar panels on. If you're in an apartment, for example, you can't really do much with that. So they've released these transparent solar panels, and what they can be used for is balcony railings. So they've actually demonstrated using them on the side of buildings as your balcony, because it's transparent, so you won't be ruining the view. You can actually see through it moderately, and at the same time it's providing green energy. So if you are developing a new hotel, you would perhaps even put transparent solar panels on as your windows. Isn't that cool? So I like where this is going. It's taking the whole concept of green energy but making it still fit into your daily life. When you put solar panels on roofs and things like that, it does look ugly and it starts to become more of an inconvenience than what it's worth. So by making it something simple like a window or a balcony railing, it's part of life already. You're just replacing it with something which will provide value. And that's brilliant. So kudos to Sharp on that one. In phone news, there's not been a lot of phone news. Obviously the iPhone 5 went gangbusters, sold 5 million in the first weekend or something and things like that. But HTC, again, I think last week I spoke about HTC. I did, it was Windows phones. This week, another Android phone from HTC. I think they've got 20,000 of them now if you go to their website. But this one is the Desire X, as creatively named as possible. And it looks like the HTC One X, but it's a little bit smaller, half the power, and half as exciting. I looked at the specs, I thought, cool. I asked HTC, where does this one fit and how is it different? And the response back was reasonable. It was a beautiful amount of paragraphs and things like that, but personally I still couldn't understand how you've got so many phones in the range, all so similarly spec'd, all with slight differences, and you still think that there's a target audience. I mean, do people walk into a store and they see all these HTC phones and they think, no, you know what, that one is just that much better than that one next to it, so I'll get that one, that really fits me. No, they don't. They see this huge range, they think, what the hell is going on with HTC? They can't decide which phone is the good one, and they go to where it's easy, where there's the one phone which they can buy, and looks the same, and it's called the iPhone. That's what they do. It's too complicated for people to walk into a store and see 1,000 phones from the one manufacturer. They don't have a clue what the hell's going on, and they go, well, stuff that. There's one phone sitting by itself with a beautiful frame around it. That's the phone that the company loves and builds and thinks is for you, and they just buy that. And that's something I would love to see HTC learn, because last year I think their CEO or someone important in the company said, we're going to make less phones because we need to simplify our range. Yet, they didn't. I thought they had, but almost every month I'm hearing about new phones from HTC. They are nice phones. They usually build them really well, and when I review them I do enjoy them, but there's too many. Guys, my cup is bone dry. I feel a whole lot better. I'm so glad that I did get better, and thanks to the people who gave me well wishes and things like that. Much appreciated. Now, just to wrap the show, I did a review this week on the Apple EarPods. Pretty cool piece of kit. I've also got with me now the Jabra Soulmate. You remember I probably spoke about this a few shows ago. It is like the coolest little Bluetooth speaker I've been using. I just unboxed it today. Really excited, and the power of this is impressive. I'm also walking around and running around with the little Fitbit. I mentioned this in a couple of shows ago as well. So a review will come of that. And I've got these two Sony speakers, these wireless Sony speakers, which are just phenomenal in terms of performance and stuff like that. So loud and so clear. I can't pick them up, they're quite big. But I'll bring them in the review soon. I need to review all this stuff, get them to you, but things have been a bit chaotic. So anyway, let me know if you've got any questions. Feel free to comment about any of the pieces that we spoke about. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed the show. Hit the dislike button if... please don't. But you can if you have to. And if you haven't subscribed, you really should, because this stuff is awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.